I don't know if it's going to be bright enough. I might have to go upstairs and get the light.
It's bright.
Good morning. How are you? It's been a couple weeks, and I'm sorry about that. It's
Yeah.
been 2 weeks since we had coffee together.
Two.
Two. And for the life of me, I can't remember why, but I'll figure it out. And rest assured, I'm still drinking coffee. Just we haven't had it live.
Well,
Good morning.
last week we
How
had
are
to
you,
go to
honey?
Morristown.
What? Oh, yeah. We had to leave town. Well, to do errands. And that was an hour away, one way. And then we had lots of errands. So good morning. I'm having my first sip of coffee and I didn't do my ratio right. Hang on. Steve said good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
And Linda's
Hope you're
there
doing
too.
well. Who? Linda?
Linda.
Linda! What's up?
You want to do the quick intro?
So I'm Tim and
I'm Amber.
Amber, and we're two of the five that moved from South Carolina by the beach up to the Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee. And yes, we have some more people
Good morning. Steve and Steve are here. Huh?
that live on the property with us. And we got Gavin and Ashlyn and Pam, the mother-in-law.
Is this your first time doing an intro?
Well, yeah, sort of. I'm a little rusty.
It's been 2 weeks and we don't
Yeah.
have enough coffee intake. Well, good morning if you're joining us. This is nothing scripted, although we did pick a topic today, believe it or not.
What is it?
Yeah, the solar.
Solar.
Yeah.
Ooh. On a cloudy day.
Anyways, but most of the time it's just us chit chatting and having coffee. Good morning. How are you? Philip's like, yeah. Philip, you'll be happy or proud. Timmy, we've gone. I'm off beat, y'all. I'm off track for just a minute, y'all. For Valentine's this year, I told Timmy, I said, guess what I'm going to get you for Valentine's? And I don't know if it's going to happen or not because we went shopping. What did I say I was going to get you for
Oh yeah,
Valentine's?
a new guitar, but guitar prices have
We've gone
skyrocketed.
to 3 different stores
Yeah,
since the last time we bought a guitar, which you said was a really long time ago,
it was a
and
long time ago.
yeah, but in my mind, it was like yesterday, like your
It's
guitar
been
should still have the tags on it.
20
It has
something
not
years.
been 20
Yes, it
years
has.
since we bought that Tiger.
Yeah, yeah,
20 years?
yeah,
I'm not that old.
yeah,
No.
yeah,
So, good morning, honey. Anyhow, we went to 3 different stores so far, and the prices, wow,
yeah.
they're like eggs.
Yeah, we went to one guitar store and I walked in this room. It was like a humidor, and it had all the $10,000 guitars in it.
And I sat in that
And
room.
I started getting nervous. I said, "No, I'm just gonna walk back out."
Well, I was sitting on the bench and I'm looking in front of me. Of course, I didn't have my glasses on. I'm like, well, Timmy, what's wrong with that guitar? And it said refurbished. It said $1,000, which was still over our budget, by the way. And and then I put my glasses on and I'm sitting here going, refurbished guitar, $10,000.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think it
then.
was a Martin. It was a Martin. Yeah,
I don't care
yeah.
what name it had on it. Yeah, it was like, woo. So we listened to Timmy picking and, trying all the different things out. And it was pretty cool because there was a lot of different people in the stores, playing instruments and stuff. And yeah, so in Timmy's future, we might have, guitar maker on that list in order to save money.
There might be a hole in the wash tub if I try to make a guitar.
Hang on, Gavin's messaging. So well, we have a friend, I mean, no jokes aside, he makes guitars out of cigar boxes, and they are the coolest thing. Chris Smith?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, they're super cool.
yeah,
And so that's not off the table. I mean,
yeah.
some washtub guitars.
As long as I ain't got to smoke a whole box of cigars, but
Good morning, Sherry. How are you, honey? So I can't even go over everything that we've had happen in the last 2 weeks, y'all. It's been a lot. Timmy has made some progress though, and the weather we've thought out. It's going to be. It's been in the 50s yesterday, I think.
it's
Yep.
gonna be in the 50s today. Yeah,
But didn't you say we're expected close to 70 this week?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to warm up even more. So
Now there's parts on our road in the holler and stuff that are still frozen. Their ponds are frozen because they don't get the sun. But I mean, it's given you a little break on the firewood and the
yeah,
fireplaces.
yeah, that's been a blessing there because chasing these fireplaces down all day
He ain't lying. He's
and
sitting here, he'll run from one to the other.
yeah,
Well, I help y'all. Don't think I just sit on my butt and don't do anything. I'll
yeah.
hurt you.
And I start looking at a lot of my wood for the big stove. I'm like, man, I wish I hadn't split this stuff so small because once you get it going, you could put that big stuff in there and just let it, you know,
Don't we still?
let
We
it
got
go.
lots of big stuff still.
Yeah, I wish I'd have made it bigger.
Oh, you mean like a keeper log?
Keepers, yeah,
Y'all don't know what a keeper log is. I had to be educated on it by a friend of mine out in Northern California. She's a keeper log. You guys got to get a keeper log. And I thought it was something special. No, it's just a whole
yeah,
log that hadn't been split. That's it. It's a keeper log. And she says you put it on, the fire will die down a little bit. It'll slow down at night. But generally by morning, you still got some coals and you got something left of that keeper
yeah,
log. So you don't have to set your alarm and get up every 2 hours,
yeah,
which is nice.
yeah.
So first things first, I can't remember what else I want to discuss with you, but this is what we picked today was our solar update. Timmy, without going into the changes that we've made, share with everybody the system that we have, that we bought, that we've been using up until a week ago.
Well, we
What
have
is it?
it's a 5,000 watt system, and it
5,000 watts.
yeah, it
That's great.
supplies our
Let me go
power,
let the dog out, y'all.
and it runs our electric fence and our
No,
refrigerator.
we had, I just talk about the system,
But
the details.
the system is basically a inverter and a charge controller, and the charge controller handles all the you know the technical parts of the solar, as far as how much as far as to how much power it lets the house have and how much power goes to the batteries. So it kind of divides it up, splits it up, and makes sure our batteries are properly charged. And
How many panels do we have?
we have 12 panels. Yeah, 305 watt panels.
And then we have, what type of batteries did we have?
Well, we had the deep cell
Lead
lead
acid.
acid batteries, and
That's all we're going to say right now.
yeah,
And we got those from a battery place in Knoxville. I think it
yeah,
was called Battery Store. So it was very generic. Oh, hang on just a second, y'all. My stupid antivirus thing's popping up.
oh, it expired.
Yeah, it expired and I removed it and it still pops up because I got a different virus. Anyhow, I wanted you to stay on point. That's kind of why I'm dictating what you're saying
Well, go
because I
ahead.
just wanted you to stay to what
I'll,
we had.
I'll try not to mess it up too bad.
No, you're fine. But we got a package system from Backwoods Solar. They're out of Idaho. Great company. I see that they don't have the same packages that we offer now. Now they have some RV packages or what have you on their website. They don't offer the whole home system anymore, which I'm not quite sure why. But I will say this, our system, I pretty much would say confidently that most people wouldn't consider what we have a whole house system. And the reason being is because they use a lot more electricity than we do, the average home, and a lot more electricity. For instance, we don't have a hot water heater. We don't have um, an air conditioner. We don't run a lot of the things that your conventional home would run. We don't run crock pots. We don't run anything that draws heat, blow dryers, curling irons, clothes irons, a stove, an oven. All of those things we do old school off grid without power. So our system fulfills our needs that we have because we've adapted our lifestyle as such. But we can use now for a long time too. There was a lot of things I didn't use that I'm finding out I can if we use them during the day.
Yeah,
When the sun's going, you can pretty much run anything you want when it's full sun. Timmy can be out there in the shop running all his tools.
yeah,
I can be not inside using a a glue gun that draws heat, on my crafts and stuff. I can vacuum the house. And so you just got to adapt your schedule. I still don't use a crock pot, which I miss. But if you get the stove going, you get a Dutch oven all day.
Well, I think that since we've gotten solar, when we lived in the city and we had utilities, uh,
Expensive.
we never looked at when we would buy something like a blender or a blow dryer or microwave,
We never try
exactly
to
how
conserve.
much, yeah, because you flip on the switch and you plug it in, or is it
Pay
just,
the bill.
it's there as much as you need, it's there.
And you don't ever think either of what it takes to make that energy, what the impact has on the earth
Yeah,
or the planet or our water supply or you don't think about the consequence of your usage being a consumer.
yeah.
And you're very mindful when you live off grid. Like, did you leave a light on in the other room? Well, it was just a little flashlight. I don't care. Did you leave it on? Go turn it off. It doesn't matter what the size is. You don't leave it on. Even if it draws just a little power, you don't leave it on.
Yeah, but
Just like our water.
we're more aware now, and we know what we can run and what we can't, and it makes us aware of how many hamsters and how many little wheels it takes to produce all that power.
I
So
will say this. So when we first started out, it's still a learning curve, but we chose the lead acid batteries. Good morning, Kathy. How are you, honey? Kathy, you warming up down there in Polly's yet? Y'all had crazy weather. Um, when we chose the lead acid batteries for two reasons. One, affordability. It was a lot cheaper, a lot cheaper than the lithium ion batteries. Two is when we did the math of how much the lithium batteries were going to cost us. And it said lasted, 15, 20 years. I think it said the lifespan on those and then we did the price of the lead acid batteries. The lead acid batteries were one third the cost. And when we looked at the expected lifespan of those, we would have come out ahead after the course of the expected years for money, by a couple $1,000s. So I said, let's just buy the cheaper ones. Now, what did you used to have to do to those? What was the maintenance for them?
well, the maintenance was basically cleaning the terminals and adding distilled water to them.
Monthly.
Yeah, well, in the summertime it was a little more because
Look at the
the
camera.
heat and everything, you know, and they off gas, so you lose your.
Do the lithium ones off gas too?
No, it's a
No.
sealed battery. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, lithium. That's a sealed battery.
see, learn something new every day. So, but anyhow, it was during the summer that one of our batteries, we had eight, right? Eight, is that
Eight,
right?
eight
Eight.
6-volt batteries.
Oh, and our total package, y'all, was just under $11,000. Just so you know, I would love to have a wall battery from Elon for our solar. Ain't no lie. Um, yeah, it's Figgy down. Oh, we're doing live. You're gonna have to wait a second. You can go ahead and block it to me. And Linda's like, "Can you block the stairs so the dogs don't come up?" When they wake up, they want her to wake up and play with them. It's adorable. Uh,
So what I miss?
Nothing. I was just talking about when we got the batteries, why we got those batteries and what it cost. And so it was just under $11,000. And I want to say the batteries themselves were around, a little over $3,000. And the company that we ordered, Backwoods Solar, and there's a lot of other good companies out there too. Alt E is another one, ALTE, the letter E, um, is a good one. Missouri Wind and Solar is another good one. Uh, those are the top three that I know of. But I would recommend uh, Backwoods because their customer service is excellent and they
Yeah,
were just really great.
yeah.
They did match the price of All E. All E was the cheapest, but I didn't like their customer service was horrible. At least that was my experience. And a friend of ours bought their system through Missouri Wind and Solar, and she had nothing but nice things to say. I just didn't need to shop around anymore when we found what we were looking for.
Hmm.
So that's why we didn't go with them. But Anyhow, and I don't have links. I'm not an affiliate. I'm not, I don't get paid to mention them. That's just our experience, period. Anyhow, and so the system was the other portion of that price. Now they have come down a lot in 6 years since we bought ours. And we actually, yeah, we bought our system 6.5 years ago. We installed it. It will be 6 years of April this year is when we, no, wait. Yeah, 6 years, sorry. We installed it in 2019 in spring.
Yeah, it took me a year to figure it out.
It did take me a year to figure it out. So,
No, it didn't. It was just,
it took a year of me put my foot up his butt to go ahead and do it. There you go.
well, we were living at the cabin, and life down there is different, and it's easy to get separated from what was going on up here.
Because we were wrapped up in everything down in
And
the holler.
we had
Yeah.
animals, and we had fox, and all just
Kids.
yeah, it was just a lot.
Filming, writing the book, all that was going
crazy,
on.
man.
Yeah. So fast forward to last summer, which only made our batteries like 5 years old. And it got to where they weren't holding a charge in one of the batteries. So when you connect them to me, go to the process when we connected the batteries for our battery bank, how that works. You know how one loops to the other, to make that full circuit?
Yeah. Well, what are you talking about? What we have now, or the old
The lead
batteries?
acid.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys know where this is going because you keep saying old batteries. It's just this happened this week. So
So yeah, when you have a 40, we have a 48-volt system. We have 8 batteries, 8 6-volt batteries,
y'all want some
which
coffee?
make up a 48-volt system. You have to hook those batteries together in series. So your positive to negatives, and once you get all of those hooked up, you have a 48-volt battery. And
Talk what happens.
we had one battery that went bad,
And it
causes the closest one to it to drop in voltage, and then it just it's kind of like a domino thing. It weakens all the other batteries. So that's why they tell you can't buy a new battery and replace that bad one, because it's going to bring it down. And so we're
months ago we ordered.
So a couple months ago, we ordered new batteries, and
What kind?
we got the lithium ion, and it's a sealed battery. It has actually, it's a 48-volt battery. You know, it's funny to think about it now, that it took 8 big, heavy batteries to make.
2. Those are 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now they make one battery
They do.
that equals the voltage of 8 batteries.
But we got 2 to equal the voltage of 8 batteries.
Well, what it did is, one battery is 48 volts. We got 2 of them to increase the amp hours, because we had a 200 amp hour battery bank, and it took 2. Each battery, 48-volt battery, is 100 amp hours. So we still have 200 amp hours now. You can add up to 4 of them.
What we were having to do come the summer, when that one battery, the cell was going bad, is it wouldn't even be. Oh, is that too cold? Hot? Sorry, it wouldn't even be the evening, and Timmy would have to use the generator. So our generator has always been our backup system. Oh, it's not strong. It's too strong. Sorry. Um, to charge our battery bank. It wasn't that our solar panels weren't doing it. It's just they weren't holding the charge, or they would release the charge too quickly and just not staying charged. And so it was a daily thing. And it still hasn't cost us a lot of money in gas. So it hasn't been really expensive. I think maybe, how many gallons would you say we've gone through this whole winter? And that was you running the generator every day.
20 gallons.
Maybe 20, 30 gallons of gas so far. for the winter, and we've had some cold weather. However, that's not the downside of using the generator. The noise of the generator, because how big is our generator? It's not a great big Generac that can
It's a
run the whole house.
10,000-watt generator.
It's a 10,000-watt generator, and it can handle the 210, right?
220, yeah. It's got a 220 plug on it, which that's what it takes to charge our batteries.
Yeah, for the solar system. Like Gavin and Ashlyn, they got a quiet little generator that they use, for their electric needs when they need to. They live completely off the grid. They don't have solar or anything. They just use the generator when they need to. And they have a propane fridge and all, which is super cool, by the way. And there's this quiet, but it couldn't handle the higher voltage that ours can. The noise from that. There's something about
Yeah, that's
the
annoying.
hertz in the generator
Yeah,
that go right to the back of my brain
yeah, it
and go do
hurts.
do do do, and that sound, specifically that sound, drives me crazy. And typically I'm always trying to work when the generator's going on.
Yeah,
Fast forward, we did shop for the lithium batteries, and we knew we had to make a change because I didn't want to replace the one lead acid battery. We had to replace the whole bank, and those prices have increased. So we're like, okay, we can either. How much did the lithium batteries cost us? 17 and change.
1,700 for two batteries.
And change.
Yeah,
It was 1,700 for two batteries, and they were 10,000 last time we checked them out. The lead acid were over 3,600. So again, we did the math. We're like, well, now we can have lead acid batteries. Unfortunately, we've had them for like 3 months, and they've just been sitting there in the room in the battery bank, and we haven't connected them. How come we didn't connect them 4 months ago?
I don't know. Just
No, just share what your experience was because there was changes that we had to make, right? And you
well,
had to contact the company
yeah,
again.
I had to contact the company, and I had to have the a guy talk to me so I could go into the charge controller and the controller for the inverter and put all of these new parameters, um, these new numbers in the charge rate and the cutoff rate and the reconnection rate and all of this stuff that has to be put in properly in order for these new batteries to work properly. And
It was
it's
intimidating.
nothing you can just look at a piece of paper or
Figure it
book
out.
and figure it out. It's so I was thankful for the customer service and the tech guy that was able to help me with that because he was really calm and he told me, and I was able to go through it and do it, and it was,
And he's
up
the
and
same
running.
one that walked him through it 5.5 years ago.
Yeah,
He's still there, which is great
yeah,
for
it
any
was it was
company to have the
nice. I
same
called
employees.
and he answered the phone. I was like, "Does Sean still work there?" And he goes, "This is him." I'm like,
He's like, yeah,
"Yeah."
man, this is me. Um, so it was a really good experience, and I am happy to say, even though we have had cloudy days, that we have not had to use the generator one time since
Yeah,
we installed the new batteries.
yep,
And I am a happy, happy woman about that. Timmy keeps going, I got to check the battery bank. I'm like, you just checked it. Well, I got to check it again. He'll go out there and had dropped. I'm like,
yeah,
wow. Even last night, it was at 52 point.
6.
And then this morning, it was at what?
We're at 51.6.
Something.
So we
Yeah.
dropped a volt.
What did it for me, though, is this earlier this week. I went to get up to go to work, and I went to turn on my bed light, and it didn't come on. And I'm like, we don't have any power. Which is ironic because we live off grid, but we're accustomed to having lights and such and electricity. And we have not had that happen since the first year we had the system put in.
Yeah,
That first year, we didn't know what our limits were. And the kids would have their friends over, and everybody would be plugged in. All the lights would be on upstairs. And the next thing, the whole house would go dark. And I'm like, uh oh, Aggie.
well,
It has the override system that shuts it off. Sorry, go
yeah, and
ahead.
that's to protect the batteries.
Hmm.
Or yeah, that was a an uncomfortable time for me. not knowing, and just,
We learned quickly though.
when you got a bunch of people in the house, and you got people walking around turning stuff on and leaving it on, and
And you don't want to be, I always call them the electric Nazi.
yeah,
Turn that off, turn that off, turn that off. Oh my gosh.
yeah, I don't like that name, but I'm just trying to be aware.
I said, we got to have fun. We got to be able to have fun. It wasn't all the time, y'all. It was just when we had company.
It's all fun till you start blowing fuses.
Yeah. So we learned quickly what we could and couldn't do. And then we were very mindful of it moving forward. It's a learning curve. It's not like we were raised this way. I mean, we left the city and came and lived off grid with no one telling us how to do it. So we're making all the mistakes for y'all. So you guys can learn vicariously through us when you go to do, your crazy adventure after your midlife crisis like we did.
Yeah.
But I will say now that we have, after 6 years, I think that we've got it down pretty much.
And don't say that.
No, not that we don't have anything to learn.
Mm.
Lord, we got lots of lessons to learn. We'll need to learn them all today. um, but it's still I love it. I wouldn't go back. Would you go back to being plugged in?
Oh no, no.
Especially now after this winter. Oh man, the people in our community, in our county, they're hurting y'all because the electric bills are just, not only is it been a really cold winter, but the rates have increased 25% since last year.
Yeah,
25% rate increase since
yeah,
last year. Their electric bills are a mortgage payment. They're $1,200, $800, $900.
yeah.
People are going without power. Seniors are living in the dark because they're on a fixed income and can't afford to pay it. And there's no help out there because all the help's been drained, and it's sad. And that's why we share what we share to help empower others, that there are choices out there. Even if you didn't have the money for a solar system, if you can learn to do things manually like they used to do back in the day, it would remove that panic and fear if your lights did cut off. It's like, okay, what do I do? How do I cook my dinner? How do I communicate with others? How do I still flush the toilet? And we can help share those things. So what I call it, what do we always call the thing?
Prepping for peace.
Prepping for peace. So if a situation does happen like that, you're not in sheer full blown panic mode. And that's what happens a lot in situations where, their customary life, the way they're used to living, gets altered.
Ooh.
So how are you liking the solar though now?
I feel like it is a relief, and have, I guess we're kind of moving forward with the new technology with these types of batteries, and they have the built-in. Um, the battery has a
Wait, didn't you say I could download a
yeah.
Wi-Fi app or
There's
something?
yeah. You can download the app on your phone, and you can monitor
I like that.
your system and everything, and
So we can even be away from home
yeah,
and see what our
yeah,
battery level is.
exactly.
I like that.
So
Some people wouldn't. Some people they're like, oh no, that means Big Brother knows everything. Y'all, it don't matter where you live. They know everything about you
yeah,
anyhow. I mean, you don't need to give them your bank account and social security number willingly, but they'll probably have it anyhow. Um, we didn't do this to hide from anybody. We did this as a self-sufficient, sustainable lifestyle choice and to be more free and more independent. That's why we did it. We're going to speak all about that, y'all. I had what epiphany the other day when it was Thursday morning. The Lord really spoke to me, but I don't feel like I have time to discuss that this week. It's about the train metaphor that I was sharing with you, and I really feel placed on my heart to discuss it, but we don't have time to do it today. So just remind me next week that Amber wants to talk about the train and freedom, especially because a lot of people feel when you go to move off grids because you want to be free.
yeah.
How do you feel about that? Because that was really motivation for you too. I mean, we were restricted by a thumb of the county, and we were under the thumb of the HOA and their neighbors. And even though we were president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer of the HOA at the same time, we were still restricted by rules, laws, guides, you know, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. You can't do this. You know, you got to file this building permit.
Well,
And
yeah, I mean it's a lot more than that now. That's come out of it, but just knowing that people can go in and change rules.
oh,
It,
yeah.
it would the snap of a finger, and you can't do that anymore. And I guess that's just the world we're living in today. That they can do that. So
They have the illusion of being
the
free.
more you're involved and caught up in that type of life, the more it's going to affect you. So just
But
I
wasn't
feel like we
freedom
were able to back away from a lot of it and come here, and you
right?
know
Do you feel freer now than you ever have before when we lived in the city?
I do feel free. I mean,
I mean, just look outside.
oh yeah, I mean, I'm free.
When you go outside, you can build whatever you want without having to apply for a permit for every
Yeah,
little
that's nice.
structure. Do you
Yeah,
feel free?
yeah,
Do you feel free that you can have as many animals as you want?
yeah. I can have whatever I want.
And bees?
And bees. Yeah,
Yeah, all that stuff is dictated. You know, we can collect our water. We can do what we want with that.
yeah, we used to have to put a sign out in front of our house that no spraying.
We had bees. Of course, they would only stop spraying at our 85-foot of road frontage. And then they even made us take down the sign because they said too many people were complaining, people, tourists, that they were getting bit by mosquitoes and couldn't enjoy their vacation
Yeah, it
because
was our fault.
the county wouldn't spray because of the bees. And the county, they only stopped spraying y'all for 85 feet
Yeah.
of the entire town. It was Yo, that has nothing to do. My bees had nothing to do with you getting bit by a mosquito. People are stupid sometimes, I
Yeah,
swear.
that's a good
Um,
one.
yeah, that's a laughable moment as it is. But I will say that, and oh, let's not forget how the county or the city or now city, the electric company, if they think that you're late, they can shut you off. If they want a rate increase, they'll increase it. They have total control over your quality of life when it comes to your dependency on electricity. And I didn't want that anymore. And so the way that we live, I definitely feel free from that.
I mean, we've had our electricity turned off, even though we paid our payment. It was just, it was a mistake on their end, and you know, it's our loss, it's our aggravation because we have to call them up or go down there and
To have
straighten it
someone,
out.
yeah, that would to have business have that type of control over your everyday
It's
activities,
frustrating.
it
Yeah,
really got under my skin. And I said, if we ever have the ability to free ourselves from this,
yeah,
I want it. And that was before we even knew that we were going to do this. God knew. He knew the whole plan, the whole crazy plan. We didn't know.
yeah.
But I love, and it's really, I was like, oh, I'd like to live off grid. And my first question then is, what are you willing to give up? Because with everything, there comes a sacrifice. So if you don't want those powers to be to hold that control over you, and you want to take that out of their hands and put it in your own hands, my question is, what are you willing to give up? Because it doesn't come without sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean, it's and there's a lot of people doing it now, even on a small scale, and they're able to, just like people
Ashley and Gavin,
build the little
tiny homes.
tiny homes on wheels, and they just it's freedom, So
And we can talk about more when we do. We'll talk about more about the pluses and minuses of the restrictions and being in the city and being off grid next week. Well, I'm already y'all. This is mark this down. We're actually going to plan our conversation for next Saturday, and it will be about the train, about staying on track or getting derailed. It's great.
yeah,
It's a great thing.
that's a good one.
It's a great
The
thing.
train.
Oh, and I have something else. I didn't tell you this. I kind of briefly asked you about it, but I didn't tell you. Saturdays, y'all, we have our coffee, and we're still gonna have some more coffee after we end this because I haven't had enough. Um, but we're gonna do, and I don't know what time yet. This is I'm still gotta figure out all the bugs and all that. But we are gonna have a shop with me Saturday. And I know it sounds silly, but just roll with me here for a moment. I am an Amazon junkie because we live so remotely. I buy everything online, everything on Amazon. And Amazon, it was like, oh, Amazon, let me tell you something. The mom and pop stores, they sell on Amazon. So you're not just supporting, the big guy. You're supporting all the little guys underneath him. So there's so many people like myself that sell on Amazon because without it, we couldn't reach the millions, thousands, hundreds of other people all across the world to distribute our product. So yes, when you shop on Amazon, yep, you're shopping with a big man, but you're also shopping with the mom and pop people too. That said, is we both read the reviews before we buy any product. It can have 4.5 stars, but I still read all the reviews because it's important to me to see what people are saying about that product before I buy it. I don't know if you're the same way.
Yeah.
If you are, there's yeah, I we get orders weekly from Amazon, for our house, for groceries that I can't get locally because they don't carry the stuff that I eat. Things for our animals, all the products that I make, the crafts, tools. We bought our lithium batteries on Amazon. Best price that we could find,
Yeah.
you know? Um, So, and they even have they even sell houses on Amazon now. But, and this isn't an Amazon commercial
Well,
per
I didn't see that one
se.
in your cart.
Yeah. No, I seriously, it was $60,000. I looked at it. I had it in my cart for one moment just so I could show somebody else, but I didn't keep it in there. 'Cause I didn't want the algorithm showing me houses nonstop on Amazon. That said, is and we're gonna start doing like kind of product reviews of what we've ordered, what we've used, what we like, what we don't.
Yeah.
So you'll know our opinion. That's it. If you want to buy it, great. We'll have it in our Amazon store and you don't pay any extra for it. If you order through our Amazon store, you don't pay any less. You don't have to use our store. It's just everyone's always asking you, what do you use for this? What do you use for that? And so I figured after, 15 years of doing this online blogging, writing, author stuff, why not share
Mhm.
with y'all the things that we use? And there you go. So we're going to do it every Saturday. Shop with me Saturday. I'm going to try to do it every Saturday, just like we try to do coffee every Saturday.
Things you need to know before you fork out the dough.
Did you just come up with that?
Oh yeah, I got a good one.
You're done for
Yeah.
the day, aren't you? That's
Yeah.
it.
That's it.
One and done.
So I'll only do one show a day.
That was great. I love it. That might be that'll be our new slogan. Things you need to know before you
Fork out the dough.
fork out the dough. There you go. All right, y'all. You guys have a blessed weekend. It's February 1st. We got a short month ahead, but let's get a lot done,
Yeah.
right?
You see what that groundhog does.
I'm not ready for heat yet. I know y'all might be saying that, but I'm not ready for it yet. I like the excuse of having it be
Yeah.
cold, staying
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
All right, y'all have a blessed weekend. We'll talk to you next
Thanks
weekend.
for watching.
Bye.